Hi students, in today's class we are going to see the unit 6 related to sag on a transmission line. Then what is the definition of a sag? If you check, the transmission line is erected with the help of a towers over a kilometers of the length to transmit the power from the sending end point to the receiving end point. So whenever the power is transmitted against the transmission lines, then we know that we are using the conductors, ACSR conductors, aluminum conductor, steel reinforced. So whenever the conductor is hanged in between the towers, then we require a certain amount of sag, or in general terms we call it as a loose. We should not tie it very tightly, because of whenever we tie them very tightly in between the towers, then because of its tensile strength, weak tensile strength, it may be broken, so that conductor may be subjected to breakage. So in order to avoid such a type of problems, in general we will select some we will create some sag in between the towers whenever the conductor is hanged in between those two towers. Okay, at the same time we should not give a large clearance, we should not give a large amount of sag in between the towers, because whenever we create a large amount of sag, then obviously the ground clearance, that is the clearance between the hanged conductor at the lowest point and the ground, the distance will be decreased. Whenever the distance decreases, then it leads a problem. So that what are the types of problems? In general, whenever the sag is increased, the clearance will decrease. In order to give a minimum clearance, again we have to increase the height of the tower. That is the major drawback of the large amount of sags. So a preferable and calculated amount of sag is to be provided in between the towers whenever the conductor is running on the towers. Okay, so let us see the basic definition of a sag. The basic definition of a sag is, it is the difference in level between the points of the supports and the lowest point is called as a sag. That is, whenever we assume that there are two towers of same height, then if you go for the tips of the towers, like this is one tower and this is other tower, or we call it as a support. Let me take that support to be here. So the towers are assumed to be A and B towers. So that let me assume that here it is the another tower. Two towers are there which are mounted on the ground with a flat surface. Then these are the tips of the towers called as tower A, tower B, or electrical poles or electrical towers. If the conductor is made to run in between them, then this will be the shape of the conductor, which is made up of with aluminum. And if you observe, this is the lowest point of the conductor, let me call it as O. Then the deviation in between the support top points, so that if I draw a straight line with a dotted line, you can indicate that that was the reference line. Actually, if it is the conductor was made very tight, then this should be the path of the conductor. But to provide the maximum or to provide the good working conditions, we have some deviation in between this dotted line and the actual running path of the conductor. So such a deviation, technically we call it as, this is the amount, this is called as sag. This should be a preferable and calculated value. It should not be too much low, or it should not be too much high. If you give large amount of sag, then no doubt this will be the conductor profile. For a large amount of sags, this will be the clearance, ground clearance, which was reduced. If the ground clearance is reduced, there may be a passage of the charging current at a very high voltages points of transmission. Then in order to have a minimum ground clearance to be happened when provided with more sag, then height of the conductor should be increased like this. It should be increased to these points. Then for the same amount of the highest sags, you can provide the required amount of ground clearance. This was the drawback. So the drawback of more amount of sag is, whenever more amount of sag is produced or given, then the ground clearance will be minimized. So in order to have that ground clearance to the required value, we should increase the height of the towers. If the height of the towers are increased, because the transmission line is erected for a large kilometers of the length, more number of towers are there in transmission part, thereby the erection cost are also called as installation cost increases. So whenever that installation cost increases, then it is a burden for the customer to pay the amount whatever they are using. So the sag, what is the definition of the sag? The definition of the sag is the difference between the line joining the supports with reference to this line joining and the lowest point of the conductor. This is lowest point of the conductor. Between these two, the deviation is called as sag technically. Next, let us see on what factors do this sag depends. So the sag depends upon the following factors. They are weight of the conductor. So if at all if we use large weight of the conductor, then due to its gravity, the entire weight will be seen at the center of the span length. What is meant by span length? The distance between the two successive towers is known as span length. In between that span length, mid-span, at this mid-span, the total entire conductor weight is acted, which will be shown downward direction, so that when the weight of the conductor increases, obviously due to its gravitational force, the magnitude of sag also increases. Thereby, it is very clear that the first point, that is the first factor affecting the magnitude of sag, is weight of the conductor. So it is directly proportional to the sag. And next, span length. If the length of the conductors, that is, if the length of the span gets increased, that is distance between the two successive towers gets increased. If the length increases, obviously we know that the profile of the conductor path increases with its deviation, that is sag. Therefore, sag is directly proportional to square of the span length. That is, if I assume that sag to be S, previously it is directly proportional to weight of the conductor as a first point, factors affecting sag. And a second point, the same amount of sag is directly proportional to square of the length, L square. And next, coming to the tension. The tension acting upon the conductor is always in the tangential direction. Thereby, the tension is one of the factor which affects the magnitude of sag. Therefore, sag is inversely proportional to the tension on the conductor. Thereby, S we can call it as S is inversely proportional to T. Okay, so in addition to this three parameters, three factors called weight of the conductor per unit length, span length, tension, the span depends upon, the sag depends upon two more parameters. They are of wind and temperature. So coming to the wind, whenever the wind flows in the atmospheric conditions, abnormal atmospheric conditions, then whenever the wind gets blown, then the weight of the conductor is increased. Whenever the weight of the conductor increases, then obviously the sag increases. Therefore, sag is directly proportional to wind that was acting upon the conductor in the direction of the conductor movement. Okay, and temperature. The last parameter is the temperature. So temperature, coming to the sag, it is directly proportional to temperature. So coming to the points, the fourth point, sag is directly proportional to wind pressure which is acting on the conductor, and also sag is directly proportional to temperatures. As the temperature increases, the magnitude of the sag also gets increased. And one more parameter is there, whenever the ice is accumulated around the conductor during winter seasons because of heavy snowfall, so the total ice will be accumulated on the surface of the conductor, which increases weight in addition. Therefore, I can write here as a first parameter weight of the conductor due to its own material and due to the ice accumulated on the conductor. Thereby, these are the total 5 factors which are going to affect the magnitude of the sags. They are, the first one, sag directly proportional to the weight of the conductor, sag directly proportional to the weight of the ice that was accumulated around the conductor, and sag is directly proportional to square of the span length, and sag is inversely proportional to tension on the conductor. And next, sag is directly proportional to wind pressure, what was acting, that is acting on the conductor. And next, the sag is directly proportional to the temperature. It is directly proportional to temperature that is working there. Okay. And next, let us see the magnitudes of the sags that are there in the transmission line with two different case studies. That is, we can observe for a flat surface, whenever the conductors are running in between the towers for a span length of L meters, and we assume that those towers are at equal heights, means supports are at equal heights. Whenever the supports are at equal heights, then what is the magnitude of the sag? So we have to derive the magnitude of the sag with two case studies. The first case study is whenever the supports are at equal heights, and the second one is whenever the supports are at unequal heights. So we are going to see the derivation part regarding the sag with equal supports and sag with unequal supports.